The 2009 flat season has already been a vintage one, with See the Stars, the 2000 Guineas, Derby and Eclipse Hero taking centre stage. But what does Fallon make of him?
He's brought Mick really back to where, you know, where he used to be riding before, right at the top of his game, you know, and that's what all jockeys need, especially, you know, when you get to the latter part of your career. He's a good horse like that, and you know, he's very automatic, this horse is. I mean, you can really put him wherever he wants. He's got speed, he's got stamina. I mean, this horse goes on any ground. He's 1 and 2 at the Curragh on heavy, and he's 1 on fast at Newmarket. He's won over 1.5 miles at Epsom, come back to 1.25 miles at Sandown.
What do you think is his best trip? There's so much debate about it.
Well, I don't think he has a best trip. I think he's equally as effective at any distance that he's tried. He travels for fun. You know, so obviously he's got a lot of speed, which all good horses need. You know, and he wasn't stopping in the Derby. You know, if anything, maybe he was idling. You might have thought that maybe if Master of the Horse or Fame and Glory were in front of him, which I would have likened them being if I was riding them, you know, would they have beaten him? But I think what he was doing at the end of the day, he was toying with him. You know, I think if they found another gear, I think Mick would have found another gear. You know. That's the way it looked at Sandown when Jimmy Fortune got to his guard. You know, he's just playing with him at the moment.
And as far as the fillies are concerned, Gennady, Richard Hills has gone on record as saying it's the best horse he's ever ridden, either sex. Are you impressed with Gennady?
Yeah, you mean obviously she's proven herself. She's done nothing wrong, but you know it's always a kiss of death if you say something like that before the career ends. So. I remember doing that on one of Henry's fillies. I rode up, probably, you know, built her up. It wasn't Bosra, no. But I built her up before she got there, and she never did. And I remember him saying to me, never, you know.
Which one's? Come on, you've got to tell us the name.
Never before, no, because you'll have it there at the back of your mind to haunt me one day. So I'll keep that a secret.
Maybe we'll get that next year.
Yeah.
But she's done well. And, of course, for the fillies, Sariska. Now, what about Jamie Spencer in Ireland? I love that kind of thing when jockeys make fun of others. Is that something you people probably say you wouldn't do that?
No, I'd be too nervous. I want to get on, get the job done. You know what I mean? But
do you enjoy watching that though?
It's great. It is great to watch, and if you have the confidence when you're riding to do that, which Jamie has. You know, I didn't see it because I was in America. I was in America doing my test probably at that time, but I didn't see it. But I can imagine Jamie. You know, when he's cruising there, he'd make a laugh of you.
It was really very impressive. And Michael Bell, he's sort of simmering under, isn't he? I mean, he's not Coolmore, he's not Godolphin yet, but he's one of those trainers. You know, in 10 years' time, he may never be a Sir Michael Stout, but he's getting that way, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a trainer that I was quite involved with before I got the Coolmore job, and I'd ridden motivator for him. I won the mile race at Doncaster, and I always said to him, you know, I always thought he was a serious Derby horse, and which he ended up being. But he's just proved himself there. I mean, he can win Derbies, Oaks. You know, plenty of races during the year. 2-year-olds, older horses. You know, so he's getting there. If he's not there.
And the sprinters, did you enjoy Scenic Blast at Ascot? I mean, these Aussie sprinters, they're just different class.
Well, you mean this is great for what we need for racing. You know, it's just a pity our prize money isn't a bit better because it's a little bit embarrassing. I think when these boys come over and Wesley Wars proved it as well. You know, bringing these horses over to America, which. You mean they've always failed before, and these were so impressive, you know, which is what we need to really build ourselves up. All we need now is a little bit more prize money, and we'll be there.
One thing Wesley didn't publicise too much afterwards, but it was known before. I mean, you'd done all the work on them. No wonder they were winning.
All I had to do is just kept them ticking over, showing them around where to take them. They had all their work done before they come. You know, we had 1 or 2 little pieces left, you know. But they were nice horses, you know. But we hadn't to do anything fast. But the fillies were good, and and they're just so laid back, you know. They never really showed us anything. You get coming from America, running over 4.5 furlongs, and you think they'd be buzzed up wanting to race, but they were so laid back in their work, and it was easy, you know. But it was great. It was a great trail, really, to to get one result, you know, would have been great. But you know, 2 or 3 he had, you know, and it was great for. And even in America, I mean, they showed it over there. And I mean, there's a lot more of them will be over. I think next year is what we need.
Yeah, and of course. The only bad thing about the Americans winning was, of course, they did Ewing, because I know your nap of the meeting was Mashir, and you, of course, were absolutely right. Beat all the British and Irish horses, and then Jealous again destroyed her. But nice to see Clive Britton, winner at Newmarket since. Yeah. Could be quite a nice horse for Clive.
Yeah, I mean, which it is, but I mean, Jealous again, in his work, you know, she was so laid back, you know. I mean, you nearly had to push her up the gallop, you know, and I was having to do a little bit more with her and take her up Long Hill, which Wesley didn't know. We just had to do a little bit more with her because she was so laid back, and just the gallop we were using at the back of the Berry Road, it wouldn't have been enough for her. And by taking her there, obviously, just got her there.
Do you think for the future, when we're looking at these Americans, that 5 furlongs is when we should really take note of them, and maybe when they go 6 and further, we catch up, but over 5, they're in a different sort of area?
Yeah, why they are is because they're doing their work, and their gate work on the track. They're blasting out the gates. They're running over 4 furlongs, 4.5 furlongs, and they're more mature than our 2-year-olds are at that time of the year. Most of our 2-year-olds, really, especially the good ones, you'll see from like the Lucas or Stoughys or Aidens or whatever. I mean, they're really good 2-year-olds. Don't come out till after Ascot. They don't do anything. So really, what you have going to Ascot are more or less the rabbits, you know, they can run, that don't have as much class. And the American horses are probably a month or 2 before ours, and that's why they'll be a danger.
And is there a horse at the moment that's running, say, and obviously you're going to anger some jockey here, but is there a horse running at the moment that you're thinking to yourself, please goodness, when I come back, get me on that? Is there any that you've got your eye on that you're thinking, give me that one?
Look, there's always plenty of horses out there, and there's plenty of jockeys in the way around that would say, I would love to have been riding that. I'd have done something different. We'd always do something different.
But ones you've got a chance of getting. I mean, obviously you're not going to ride See the Stars, for instance, but I've got one, actually. I've just had this one up my sleeve for 2 seasons now. Kieren Fallon, Zane, in the Arc. It's a marriage made in heaven, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's had 2 good arcs. You mean, to run Dylan Thomas to a head, I mean, it was a great result. And to come back then again and unfortunately made a superstar last year. I mean, it's probably waiting to happen for him, a race like this. But
what do you think?
If
Mick will hear this, the one thing he'll never do now is put you on Yumsay.
I don't know. I mean, the last time I heard that he'd done something, didn't he? He had a little bit of a nick. I don't know how serious it is, whether he had him back. But he was supposed to go for the King George, and he's missed that. So hopefully he'll get him back anyway, you know. But if you're asking me now about a horse I would like to ride, it would be, if I had a choice and could get on any horse, it would be Age of Aquarius in the St. Leger if he was to run.
Okay, Age of Aquarius in the St. Leger. You heard it here first.